Today we're gonna do something a little different. This is a car I bought a while ago, but as you can see it here, it's not ideal. The cheapest quote I got to do this bonnet was about £800, which is almost as much as this car is worth. So today we're gonna check if I can repair it for £50. Let's go! Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, I'm Dr. Gibberish and you can subscribe today to become my friend. Today we'll be doing a little technical project because topics over the last 2 weeks were a little heavy. So today we'll be doing something different. We're gonna try to refurbish my car bonnet with absolutely zero experience in doing cars like that. So I got some polishing pads, I got some automotive sanding paper, some black spray paint and an applicator which will make me look way more professional, except it won't, and some transparent lacquer to cover it on top. And because obviously my dream is to drive a proper race boy shitbox, I'm gonna put some lovely purple stripes on the. And to do all the sanding and polishing, I picked up this used orbital sander for about £20. So all this stuff came up to about £50, which is about £750 less than the cheapest quote from a painting garage. And on top of that, I got some new windscreen wipers because the ones on the car, I don't think they have been ever replaced in 20 years. So with that being said, let's get to it. Just a quick disclaimer, I have absolutely zero experience doing these things and I'll be improvising, so if you decide to do this to your own car, you do it at your own risk. We're gonna start by opening the bonnet to see if we can take it off. That's one hot boy. So I think if I just take these screws off, it should be enough. See if I got a proper one, and we're lucky. So this one or this one? Okay. Oh, that was a close call. Remember, always pick a correct size of the tool for the job. We're gonna make a quick cut here because I need the help of my lovely camera person. Now that we have the bonnet off, we need to somehow cover up my pretty baby in case it starts raining. So I got this bit of painting foil that I cut roughly to the size, which should do the job. Lovely jubbly, sound as a pound. As you can see, I've set it up in my backyard to avoid disruptions on the road. And obviously I don't want to spray stuff with pedestrians around, so we'll do it in my backyard. And we're gonna start by sanding down all this nasty stuff. We're gonna start by making things a little wet, so the sandpaper doesn't wear as much. Already looks a lot better, but we still have to go to the town with the small spaces like under the air intake that I couldn't reach, and unfortunately I don't have the tools to take it off, so we'll just have to kind of work around it. That's automotive sanding paper with grit between 400 and 3000. So we'll start from the low grit and we'll start making it smooth so it's ready for the paint. So let's get to it. Now we're up to grit 3000, which frankly feels quite pointless, as to skin it feels just like normal paper, but it will help us eliminate the rest of the harshness on the bonnet. Let's go. the baby nice and dry. Oh, it came with this funny little pistol that goes on top, so it might actually work. Right, here goes nothing. Okay, now we need 25 minutes for it to dry before we spray it with the lacquer, and then another half an hour to see how it actually looks. Now that I'm sure it's nice and dry, I'm gonna start applying the lacquer. And this is exactly what I royally bolted up, because I thought transparent lacquer will go into all these small little imperfections and will make the surface perfectly smooth and shiny. Whilst in reality, all transparent lacquer does, it preserves the surface the way it is, with all imperfections included. You'll see in a minute. I'm gonna save some for a second layer. See you in half an hour. At the time I finished recording of the previous section, it was almost time for me to go to work because I work nights. So only thing I managed to do that day was laying 2 layers of glossy paint and 2 layers of transparent lacquer. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I had to take off to work. Obviously I should have left the car to fully cure for 24 hours, but who has the privilege of having 24 hours without having to go somewhere, eh? I think 2 days later, after coming home from work on Sunday or Monday, I cleaned the car, I waxed it, I polished it to absurdity, and this is the final result. This is what it looks like after 4 or 5 hours of waxing, polishing. As you can see, it's still not ideal, and I know why. I know exactly why, and the secret to that is in my little mirror, which I keep in here to check if I don't have any zits on my face before I start recording. The way mirror is made, it's a thin layer of reflective material like silver or whatever else, or silver paint, which is polished to absurd levels. The layer that's reflective, note that. And it's simply covered with glass, acrylic, transparent plastic, you name it, you have it. It doesn't matter, it's the surface underneath, the silver reflective surface that makes mirror so perfectly shiny and reflective. And this is the mistake I made. I did not polish the glossy paint before laying the transparent lacquer, leaving small micro bumps and imperfections that in the end resulted in the car looking kind of matte. As you can see, it's Saturday 27th of November, pretty much a week after I completed the work on the bonnet. And after a week, I have to say, it's not perfect, it doesn't look perfect, but it does the job. In my opinion, it looks better, even if it's matte, than what it looked like with the old chipping yucky paint that the car had before. So I think it's slightly better, but it's still like 4 out of 10 of what it could be. So if this video gets enough attention, if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments and I'll show you part 2 if I ever decide to correct it. I just know where I did the mistake. I should have polished the paint before laying the transparent lacquer, because the transparent lacquer just conserved the imperfections instead of conserving the perfect polishness, the perfect polish of the paint. So that was the mistake. That's why it doesn't look as shiny as the rest of the car. But regardless of that, I'm pretty satisfied with what I achieved, especially, you know, considering the budgets. Like, instead of spending £800 for a professional to do it professionally, I managed to do it for like 80, 90, £100 all together with the tools and everything. And it doesn't look that bad, especially from a distance, and with the stripes that I added that sort of distract you away from the imperfect paint job. But most importantly, the car is sealed for the winter, and you know, hopefully that will prevent the rust from spreading and chewing up my bonnet. Thank you so much for watching the classic YouTube litany. So subscribe, make sure to click the bell. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. And leave me a comment saying what I could have done better to achieve a better outcome with the bonnet. I'll make sure to reply to every single one of you. Oh, and just quick before I go, next week me and my girlfriend are going for a little holiday, so video might be a little different than usual, as I'll have to edit everything on my smartphone, so brace for that. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Cheerio!